Okay, let's talk about the blood supply to the brain. So the brain does not store its own blood supply. The brain is really dependent upon constant supply of blood for oxygen and glucose to support the nervous tissue. The brain can't survive without blood for more than a few minutes. So longer interruptions of that can cause permanent damage or death. So let's talk about the blood supply to the brain. So there's arteries around the brain, and this is the circle of Willis. This is the brain's main arterial system. So I'm going to jump to a picture of the circle of Willis for you. So here, if we flip the brain over and you see the bottom, this is the circle of Willis. You see the circle here and the arteries here. And you can see blood in these arteries. This is the brain's main arterial system. So this is where all the blood comes up and it flows through here, and then it branches out to the rest of the brain. Then branching off the circle of Willis, we have the internal carotid and vertebral arteries and their branches, and that's what forms this circle. Okay, so the brain is about 2% of our body weight, and it consumes 20% of our oxygen. When blood flows into our brain, it's bringing oxygen, carbohydrates, amino acids, fats, hormones, and vitamins into the brain. And then when the blood goes out, it's removing carbon dioxide, ammonia, lactate, and hormones from the brain. So here you can see this is a brain that's flipped over, and you can see the circle of Willis at the base of the brain. Okay, the internal carotid artery, this has two branches. It's got the anterior cerebral artery, so the ACA, and the middle cerebral artery, the MCA. The ACA supplies blood to the frontal and parietal lobes, the corpus callosum, and the basal nuclei. And the MCA supplies blood to the temporal lobe, the motor strip, Broca's, and Wernicke's area. So I want you to think about that for a second. If the middle cerebral artery supplies the blood to Broca's and Wernicke's area, just think about how if the blood flow is blocked to those areas, it can provide damage to our speech centers. The vertebral artery, there's two vertebral arteries, one on each side of the brain, and they form the basilar artery, the posterior cerebral artery, and the cerebellar arteries. So the basilar artery supplies blood to the brainstem. The PCA provides blood to temporal and occipital lobes, the upper midbrain, and the cerebellum. And the cerebral arteries supply blood to the cerebellum. So here you can see a picture of the circle of Willis here, and then you can see the branches of the middle cerebral artery in the red here, and the anterior cerebral artery in the blue, and the posterior cerebral artery. The one that is most important for you to know is the middle cerebral artery.